Alright, hello everyone, Eric Watson here. Welcome to Chat for the Lost Plane, our weekly live-streamed post-session discussion where we talk about what just happened during D&D. This is the Chat for Session 8, so if you haven't watched that session yet, please go do that now because there will be lots of spoilers. DM Chris is here.
Hello.
Hello, player Raymond.
Hello.
And we're talking about Session 8, which we actually started like on time this time, which was nice.
Did.
It was very impressive.
Fully on time. It's crazy.
So we knew we were going to start with a big battle.
Yes.
You had expected that Tim was going to pull that spell out again.
I guess, but I didn't expect it to be half as effective as it was. The Nikolots, I guess I forgot what kind of save it was, or I didn't look at the Nikolots.
Charisma is pretty rare.
Yeah, Nikolots do not have high charisma. Or the Canolots actually have okay charisma. Better than the Nikolots, I think.
Yeah.
But I did not expect him to destroy 3 creatures?
We did 4.
4.
We did 1 big green, 2 of the small dogs.
Yep.
That's right.
And then
Yep.
Hellhound.
And then a Hellhound, yes. So 4 creatures failed that save,
Yeah.
which is big. I mean, I also can't really get around it. Like, Fiends are your guys'... Fiends and Celestials are going to be your guys' primary enemies.
That's a crazy spell, though. Jesus. But
It
we've
is.
never experienced anything like that high level, so that's why I'm always like, holy crap, that spell.
Yep. I'll say this is probably the first time I've come up on what people were warning me about from the very beginning, the high-level D&D, swing of, you can build a difficulty and players are just too powerful at that stage, and that's kind of...
But then you can roll a crit on one attack and do like 70 damage.
And then
it's like, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which was like the one big thing we're all like, oh shit, we were just kicking ass, all of a sudden that happened.
Yeah. So the setup and what I expected to happen kind of still happened, thanks to Raymond. Because the whole idea is that the fight is... It's a deadly fight.
Mm-hmm.
Two Nikolots, 2 Bone Devils, 2 Hellhounds, and 2 Canolots is a deadly fight for five whatever level 14 characters.
I mean, just those Bone Devils alone, we were spending. I mean, that fight still took an hour, despite him taking out half of the enemies. That fight that could have easily taken the entire session if it was actually a beat-down fight.
But the idea was that you guys had a big advantage on your side, and that's what Kethra figured out at the end.
Yeah.
That if anybody hurts the forest is gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And you guys never let the Hellhounds go, but if the Hellhounds had gone, they would have used their Flame Breath. And they probably would have hit a tree or 2. And you guys would have gotten an example of that.
Which is what happened with the poison spray thing.
Yeah.
Like an AoE.
No, I mean the Hellhounds have a Flame Breath thing. They do.
Right, but that would have hit the trees, and the trees would have done their thing back.
Yep, exactly. Then you would have seen the trees come to life, and the vines would have been out, and they would have stabbed those Hellhounds all to hell.
Okay.
And what I was thinking is that would have been your guys' even more trigger to we've got this big advantage on our side. If any of these creatures accidentally hit the forest.
Wouldn't the forest have hit us, though, the way it did with when Kethra shoved the demon, and it did, because they did its AoE. It didn't seem like it cared about getting us with collateral damage, though.
No, it didn't care. So you guys might have gotten hit, yeah. But it also had a bunch of actual melee attacks.
Okay.
It was stabbing, when the Bone Devil got pushed in, it was stabbing the Bone Devil, too.
Yeah.
But, they also have a cone thorn spray.
I was very excited to get a very effective fear spell that actually worked.
That was really effective.
Yeah, that was fun. Because usually I've just been kind of auto-attacking, like most combats. I was like, I can actually try to do a crowd control spell this time.
Yeah, very much so.
And then Tim just popped most of them out of existence. I was like, oh well.
It's kind of the way it happened the last time Tim used it too. Gillian charmed a bunch of them.
That's true. Yeah, we locked him down, and then Tim just got rid of him anyway. The ultimate one-up crowd control.
That's right.
Although that one demon never came back, which was that your solution of I'm not gonna bother having this demon return?
Two things happened. One, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I didn't want you... So here's the
you wanted this to be an attrition.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not want you guys to get a long rest after this fight.
Yeah.
because it doesn't, especially since Tim's got that level 7 slot.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be able to use it all the time.
Right.
I want
That's
it
the
to be
thing
a
about those
special
overland
thing.
encounters that we always struggle with is like, how do you do that with
Yeah.
letting the players replenish constantly?
Yep.
No, I'm with you on that.
So that was, as soon as you guys did that, 2 things happened. One, I was like, I don't want to send him back in there. They're kind of, they're big beefy guys, but they're also kind of support guys. They've got spells. They're spellcasters. And I was like, if I send him back in there, he's going to get fucking just destroyed in a moment. There's not going to do much. So I was like, this is my solution. This is how I don't let them long rest, is that he's out there seeking vengeance, and he's got, thaumaturgy, and he's got illusion spell, a couple of illusion spells,
What
so he can...
I was gonna ask, what was the original plan
I don't know what the
to
original
not let
plan
us long
was.
rest?
I don't know.
Because I noticed
Yeah.
we couldn't use the hut again, which I always think, okay, well, he's got something planned.
Yeah. I honestly, I think I decided that you guys weren't going to long rest after Tim used that level 7 spell. I think that's when I made the decision.
Okay.
Because I didn't know how hard you guys were going to go. Like, I didn't know if you guys were going to think that maybe that you weren't going to long rest, so maybe you'd, not go full nitrous.
Have you met our players? Like, they go
I know.
fucking nitrous like crazy, especially in this
Yeah.
campaign. Holy moly.
But I guess when I saw that they did go full nitrous, I was like, okay, they don't get to long rest after that. they don't get to pull the nitrous all the time. So, or immediately after pulling the nitrous before. So I think I made that decision on the fly
Okay.
about not letting you guys long rest. But also, this opportunity presented itself. Like a Nikolot's out there that doesn't like you.
Yeah.
You killed all.
That was a good way of
buddies.
doing it, yeah. At first I was like, oh, is this like the demon general fucking with us or something? And they're like, oh no, let me go.
Yeah.
Which I realized that I was like, oh, he's not going to have a combat thing prepped if I actually go hunting for it. But I was like, this is kind of me role-playing my character a little bit. He was...
Oh, if you guys had figured out a way to kill the Nikoloth, I would have taken you back to the previous map and just got rid of everything else and put the Nikoloth on there.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all. I actually had that prepped. I was like, if they figure out a way to get the Nikoloth out of the air.
Yeah.
I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, they don't have any way to get him out of the air.
No. Oh, that's
So you
definitely
could just do
weakness.
this all night. Yeah.
I could have maybe tried to take pot shots, but I was like, the way he's narrating this, like, I'm not going to try to...
Right.
It doesn't sound like it's going to be a combat fight anyway.
Yep. So yeah, that was my solution there, is just like, okay, and also, so there's also two other factors. One, I was buying a little bit of time because literally I had 2 things planned for tonight, that fight and the river. And I thought that was going to be the full 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys handled the fight half an hour earlier than I thought you were going to. I was like, oh, okay. Actually, because of Tim's level 7 spell. So I was like, all right, okay, so I need a little bit more time. I need some other stuff to happen before the river. So I was like, okay, that can serve the same purpose.
Yeah. And I fed right into it because I was like, I gotta hunt this guy
You did.
down.
You bought some time. You went hunting for him, and yeah. Yep. So yeah, that worked. That worked good. In the future, I don't know how I'm going to handle Tim's spell. I mean, his Tim's spell is what Tim's spell is. It does what it does.
I mean,
like
we said, I think we've done a good job of not abusing the rest system, and you just have to figure out a way of getting around the auto long rest over the map, or just be prepared for if you have a random encounter. But I think we already even discussed, we're not really, at this level especially, if you're doing a random encounter, it actually has to be a pretty big deal encounter to matter anyway, so...
Right. You guys aren't going to come across, a pack of wolves that you're going to fight or whatever.
Right, or you could just narrate that, you came across some demons, just beat the hell out of them and rested because you were so strong.
Right.
We're not actually going through the motions that...
Mm-hmm. So that's, I'm not going to try to, I'm not going to nerf Tim's spell, but I will figure out a way for it to, make it more attrition-like, more dungeon-like, so that you can't just do it all the time.
That was one way of doing it, because we went hard on that fight.
This was a best-case use spell of that spell. He had 6-7 guys that were within 30 feet of him.
Yeah.
There's no better time to use that spell than right at that moment.
That's true.
Just like your fear, you had 4 guys in your 30-foot cone. There's no better time to use that spell.
That's how I used it.
When are you going to hit 4 dudes with 1 cone?
And up in the air to where they drop some of the other guys. I was like, oh, this is wonderful.
Yep. Also, I need to remember that I can use the Canalos and Nikolos later because I didn't actually use them.
We didn't
in
actually
this
see
fight.
them at all. Yep. Didn't see them in action whatsoever. Bone Devils seem pretty cool. They just have like devils with giant scorpion tails. They're like the wyvern stat blocks at that point.
Yeah, a little bit. Just got big claws and wyvern tails.
Mm-hmm.
Hellhounds are nothing. They're little peons for your guys' level.
Yeah.
I mean, we were fighting hellhounds and
Yeah, I do remember those
the
guys.
first campaign.
Yep. It's hard to get around the meta knowledge with all the once you start accumulating all this D&D experience, but
yep.
But my character thankfully knows a lot of demons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So explain it away a little bit. Like, yeah, you guys have seen hellhounds. It's fine.
So the river, that was just a bunch of skill checks and saves. You wanted to have this whole little gauntlet thing set up.
I did, and I had some serious damage planned for failures.
That's a tricky one because there's so many things players can do, especially at this level, like spell-wise and things that can break it. Like, I don't even know how you prep for all that.
I don't. I
I mean,
nothing.
you don't. That's the answer. You really don't.
I'll tell you what I had written down. I opened up the Marin Grove Word doc again.
I mean, the weird thing is, when it comes to the boat, is this like, once the boat is capsized, you're just taking all that, the checks become different, you're all just loose in the water?
Well, that was gonna be where you probably would have come in more handy at that point because of the Kaelin. Because at that point, like, okay, now you got to get back in the boat. Like, now you get skill checks to make to try to, like, how do you guys get back in the boat? How do you guys right the boat? Do you have, like, ways of helping doing that? Do you have rope that you can throw to somebody else to bring them back to the boat? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, I mean, not thankfully, but good for you guys, you never actually fell out of the boat. Nobody did.
Yeah. I think because we had, Kethra helping Scarlet, which she needed that advantage like every time.
She did, almost every time.
Yeah.
So there was 4 sections of the river. On each section of the river, if anyone ends the section of the river in the water, they take 5d10 bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
Because they're just getting thrown. Gillian failed a strength save at one point by like a little bit.
Yeah.
So I gave her half the damage. I gave her like 3d10.
Mm.
As she got like hit by the rocks.
Which was the only time I think anybody failed anything.
The only time anybody failed anything. Yep.
Wow.
Nobody got thrown out. It was DC 15s. It was DC 15s, and then when you guys started doing stuff to help things along, I would like lower the DC in my head.
Yeah, how did you do it when Tim cast Control Water? Like, what was your ruling there?
Well, Scarlet had a DC 15 to turn the boat with her strength save or strength score. But when Tim did the boat, I didn't know what it was going to be at that point, but I was like, maybe it's like a 13 or a 12. We'll see. We'll see what she rolls. So I just lowered the save in my head because Tim was helping.
Okay.
It was kind of similar to a thing that happened in Storm Kings, where like you guys are trying to open a chain. You're trying to open Harshnag's chain. He was like chained up. You're trying to like pick the lock, but not let anyone else know you were doing it. You're trying to stay completely silent. Mm. So like some of you were casting grease on the lock and. Like, you guys were like doing all this stuff, and I'm like, well, you already have advantage. That's not changing. But if you affect the actual thing that you're doing the skill check on,
actual threshold,
then you lower the actual threshold. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Goddamn Reese for sending that block of text, and I was like, I don't know what this spell does.
He was like, I cast this, I don't know, and we're all just like, we don't know, we're not.
I was reading some bits of it. I was like, I guess maybe that could make sense.
Fuck those spells. That's on Wizards for even like doing a spell that's just like 5
make that
paragraphs
a couple different
on
spells. Or simplify the wording.
Or make it just pretty. Yeah, there's got to be a more succinct way of explaining that too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I get Control Water can be pretty nebulous, but can you explain that without just blocks and blocks of text? Holy crap.
Yep.
All of our eyes rolled over.
Exactly. So I let him do that on the second. So the first bit, you guys did what you did. You I think just Kethra helped. Scarlet did her thing. Gillian failed, got hit by the rocks. The second bit was the turn. That's where Tim started using the Control Water spell. So that lowered the save. And you guys did that fine. Gillian Dimension Door through that section of the river.
Yep.
So Gillian didn't even have to mess with that whole section.
Yeah.
Then the stumps.
Wait.
Literally,
my
notes for the stump say, DC 15 check on whatever they try. They can attempt to steal or mitigate the turns.
Whatever they do.
I did on the stump section. I wrote perception to see them all? Question mark. So I was like, if there's stuff, maybe they'll try. I'll let them do it.
Yeah.
I was very just open. I was like, okay, here's the problem.
Yeah.
You guys tell me how you want to handle it.
Basically, and then whatever checks you make, if you fail them, then here's the damage or things, consequences. Yeah, that's probably a good way of doing it. How on earth did you do Gillian, her emissary of the sea?
I was like, the higher the number, the higher the D20 she rolls, the closer it is to what she was envisioning. I wasn't going to give her nothing. Well, maybe on a 1, I might have on a 1 given her, like, look down at whatever those.
You rolled a 2.
Yeah, but I didn't want to give her nothing. It's not really she didn't waste a spell slot on it, but I was like,
that's the tricky thing.
Use.
And I've talked about this. I think we talked about this in the Discord server too. But whenever a player is doing a thing, it makes a big deal to me as a DM when I'm adjudicating it if they're actually spending a resource to do it, or if they're just rolling a skill check or using some kind of innate ability. Versus if I'm actually casting, even if it's a level 1 spell, but if you're actually doing. You're using one of your like finite class resources, like a divine set, one of those, or you're using a spell slot to do a thing, then that makes me sit up and go, okay, I'm probably gonna let this happen, even if it's kind of twisting things around. Versus if you're just trying to make things happen versus with a skill check or something, then it's gonna be a little trickier to get me to agree to it. Yeah. So I was interested on how you were gonna rule that.
It wasn't. She didn't waste any resources on it, but I was kind of just rewarding the creativity at that point.
It was pretty. Like, the way that she immediately came up with some really fun ideas was
I was
really
like,
fun.
This is cool. I'll let it go. I'll let this happen. So it's that sort of outside the box thinking that more that I was rewarding versus spending a resource.
Yeah.
And she never used the ability before. I don't think I've ever seen her actually like try to talk to. So I was like, all right, she's doing a thing that she can do, and I've never seen her do it before. She's not, abusing the ability.
Yeah. It is kind of like, what do you do on your actions? Like, this is what I do on my action. I use this ability to talk to people. So, functionally, did that end up having her skip whatever her next check? Like, I forget what it actually meant.
I thought I still made her make the roll.
I don't remember.
I thought I gave her the roll with advantage. I don't remember what I did.
Yeah.
But I thought what I was thinking at the time was like, I'll just let it help her.
Okay.
Basically, like the swarm of salmon will guide her through the rock or the tree stumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tim continued to use that water to raise you guys' boat. So
which I guess was I still don't. I left that all to you. I was like, I'm not even gonna try to. Like, I don't know what I would have done with
I just lowered the check at that point.
Yeah.
I
didn't realize could it do the same? Could it follow him along? Because, I mean, we're moving in water. So was he moving the water with? That's the only thing I was confused about. I was like, wait, do you control the water back there? No, I certainly didn't. Which is why I didn't say anything. Because I was like, I have no idea what's going on. So
what he can do. You can create a 20-foot tall wave that travels from one side of an area to another and then crashes down.
From one side of an area to another?
Yeah, it's very nebulous.
Yeah.
100 feet on a side. So he can go up to 100 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, you control the water within an area 100 feet on a side. Yeah, so within any 100 feet area, he can control this water. So he could create a 20-foot wave ahead of the boat for 100 feet long that would have carried you guys along. So yeah, sure. I guess.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I was like, I don't know how any of that works, so I'm along for the ride.
And there isn't a bit about talking about a trench. You can create a trench with the water. So like, all right, that's how you make the turn. Mm-hmm. Create a little trench with the. I wasn't reading in detail, but what I was reading is like there's like little like title headers, like part water and wave or whatever. Redirect flow. It's like, all right, maybe that works in the waterfall.
Okay, that's the part I missed. It's actually a concentration spell that lasts 10 minutes, so he's like constantly controlling the water around us.
That was like my why I was like getting onto him on the second bit where he used it. I was like, I thought it was just a thing that you did, and then you did that thing, and it's over.
Yeah.
But you can keep changing it. You can keep doing different ones.
Interesting.
Every turn.
So if we had gotten knocked off and he took damage, maybe he could have rolled a concentration save, and it just could have been a cascading effect.
Yeah, could have.
Instead, we nailed all those checks. And then she can cast Feather... Yeah, up to 5 falling. Wow.
That is crazy.
I had no idea. At level 1, you can do up to 5 creatures.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep, that's perfect. It's like the perfect solution.
That was the perfect solution. A level 1 spell just solves the waterfall problem. What was the... Again, were you just like throwing this at us? Like, I hope they have a way of doing it.
They'll figure something out. I literally had no idea. I didn't see that she had Featherfall. I literally did not see.
That's funny. See, I at one point in Tomb, I do check for that kind. I like check for spells. Be like, all right, can they get around this in some easy way, just so I can anticipate that.
I mean, at this, what I was thinking at this point is after, especially I wasn't going to give you guys any breaks after you guys handled that fight. So
yeah,
you guys were going into the river with full health.
Yeah.
So I was like, if they take 10d6 damage, they take 10d6 damage.
Yeah,
fine.
That's true.
I don't have a problem with that. You guys just fall off the waterfall.
Yeah, that's weird that at a certain level, like, you are a superhero. Like, you can just fall off
100 feet
off a skyscraper and survive.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. There's no terminal velocity or anything.
No. Just 10d6. Whatever that ends up being, which is like half your guys' health right now if it's max damage.
Yeah. Right, it's probably only going to be like, what, 30, 40 damage or something on average.
Right. Yeah, on average. And it was into water, which, I mean, I still would have done full damage, but... Yeah.
That was fun.
So, yeah.
Rapids.
Yeah. That was the bit, Raymond, that I was telling you the other night that at first I wasn't going to have a map for that. And the more I was thinking about it,
I wanted to ask you about
I was like, this is like last night, I think. But not last night or the night before last. I was like, I need a map for this.
Last night we were talking about it, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I need some sort of visual to show them while they're doing this. I also need a visual because I was looking for pictures of rapids, and all the pictures of rapids that I could find had like gentle shores on either side. I'm like, well, if I give them that, they can just fucking skip the rapids. It's got to be. There's got to be no way for them to like get on the shore for this to work. So I was like, all right, I don't have any pictures, so instead of just doing like, you know, a block of map, that's the river.
I'm glad you did that. And it's something I don't think I would have thought of doing, is if there was a scenario that explicitly was not going to have combat in it, but I still wanted to throw together a map for a visual.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking, which didn't end up happening, is that it would be very helpful for the visual aid of who's outside of the boat by how much.
I gotcha.
Like, if one of you got thrown by a boat and dragged 20 feet away from the boat,
the
visual of, okay, here's the three of you in the boat, and here's the person floating in the water, that would have been a helpful visual to have.
That makes sense.
Didn't end up needing it, but it's also something to look at while you guys are talking, you know?
Yeah, no, I thought that was helpful just having that, even though it was, you know, like I said, not this big complicated map with anything on it, but I was like, yep, there we are in the boat, and we can just see us in the boat. I liked that you actually like moved us a little bit.
Yeah, it moved you a little bit.
Gillian moving along.
It reminded me a little bit of something you did in Shadowrun, I believe, where you're just like, and assume you're moving down the road because this map doesn't move, but you are moving.
And that highway, the chase scene, and I think I moved like everybody around you maybe a little bit. I don't remember, but I was like, this is like abstracted,
It's just assume you're moving forward at 60 miles an hour, and everyone's moving around you going forward at the same speed. Yeah,
I can't actually animate this.
Exactly, so it's the same idea.
That's a good idea. So we made it exactly as far as you had hoped.
Exactly. Which, I mean, you know, we ended at 9:30. I could have kept going a little bit, but I was like, no, this is a really good stopping point.
Yeah, I think it was.
We're straight on 2 hours, and they literally just get to Marin Grove.
We just reached this, like, heightened level of energy and everything, like, and we're up there. No, I think that was good. Honestly, I think you've done a really good job of finding the perfect spot to end all of these sessions, even if we don't make it to the spot that you want us to. I think in general, it's been pretty good time-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, with this one, I mean, this is exactly where I plan to get you guys this evening.
Yeah.
I had to sort of not pad it, but I had to sort of add some stuff to keep it the full 2 hours, like the Nikoloth.
Yeah.
The river took pretty much exactly as long as I thought it was going to take, about half an hour to an hour. I don't remember how long we were there, but it was like an hour 45, something like that. Half an hour to 45. But yeah, so yeah.
Sweet. I think that covers everything we did.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. You made it to Marin's Grove without hardly a touch of damage on you from the rapids, and
Yeah.
you guys have used some spell slots at this point.
Yep.
Which I appreciate that some spell slots were used. At least I think Tim used one. I don't know if anybody else did.
I use some, but I get I got my one back on the short rest.
Yeah, you use your fear, so yeah.
I didn't actually have to heal up at all. I didn't get hit in the last fight.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I think that'll do it for chat for the Lost Plane. Thank you to DM Chris Raymond. Thank you to fans for watching. And we will see you all next week as we get into Marines. I think you pronounced it differently on the last.
At the very end, I pronounced it differently.
Give it a little
shit,
twist on there.
It's Marin Grove, and her name is Marina.
That's not confusing
Marina.
at all. Okay, we're going to the marina next time, which is where you go after you exit the boat.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you all next time.
Marijuana.
And then smoke some marijuana. That's right. Good callback.
The marijuana, the marina, Marina. Looking for Marin.
It's all coming together now.